Hey, my name's John. I'm a software engineer with about 10 years of experience, and I'd like to help you land your next programming role. Today's question, do you need a college degree to land a programming role? The answer is very clearly no, as evidenced by years and years of Stack Overflow developer surveys. We have the latest in front of us. We can see that about 6% of professional developers have no education past the level of secondary school. So this is good because you don't need a degree, but I want you to recognize how small this number is. It is possible, and it is exceedingly difficult. In this video, I'll give you 5 tips to maximize your odds to land a programming role, even if you've never been to college. It turns out that these same tips will apply if you have been to college, so stay tuned. Before we get started, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share the video with an interested friend. Let's continue. This is 2023. Let's go back to 2017. Is 2023 a fluke? The answer is no. The data has been consistent for years. About 75% of respondents have a bachelor's or higher. If we look at the secondary school level in particular, we get that 6% number again, all the way back in 2017. 2017 is interesting because they also studied the field of the major, and we can see that about 20% of college degree holders hold a degree in an unrelated field, including myself. I have a degree in economics. This is the bell curve. Employers are risk averse. If you do not have a degree, you're weird. Employers do not know if you are weird on the right-hand side of the bell curve or if you're weird on the left-hand side of the bell curve. And because they are risk averse, the incentive to avoid the left hand greatly outweighs their incentive to take a chance on the possibility that you might be on the right-hand side of the performance bell curve. This relates to the basic case made in the case against education. Bryan Caplan is a leading scholar in the field of the economics of education. I highly commend this book to you. He indicates that the credential signals intelligence, conscientiousness, and conformity. This starts to give us an answer about how we can win the game, even if we don't have a degree. The degree and all credentials signal a basket of skills. By not following the traditional path, you will suffer from a perceived deficit in conformity. The way to overcome this issue is to communicate to the employer that the basket of skills that you have outweighs your deficit in conformity. So you need to show that you are intelligent, you need to show that you are conscientious, and that you have everything else. Even if you lack conformity, you're going to more than make up for it. You are certainly not one of those left-hand performers.
By the way, my name is John. I have a PhD in economics. I studied under Bryan Caplan, and in particular, I included in my dissertation an essay on conformity and soft skills as determinants of alternatively credentialed non-college graduate hireability. The paper is available on SSRN. I encourage you to go read it.
Employers have a number of biases, and we can leverage these against them. As someone without a degree, there are 2 key biases that we can leverage to separate ourselves from the pack and show that we are a high performer. The first is the halo effect. We want to make a positive first impression. Whatever means the employer has to read a signal on us, we want to ensure that it's a positive signal to start with, and that will bias them to think that all of the other things that they haven't seen are also positive. Indeed, they will have an anchoring effect. This is the second bias. If you can create a positive first impression in the mind of the employer, they will actively work on your behalf to preserve their image of you as a positive candidate. So with that background in mind, we want to attend to your appearance to employers. However they perceive you, when they first perceive you, we want to create a positive impact. They will anchor on that, and it will carry you through the job search. There are 2 main touch points when we contact an employer. Either through application through the resume is one way that we signal that we're interested in a particular role, and the other is direct messaging on LinkedIn. So here are 5 ways that you can stand out on your first contact with an employer. First, a quality resume. Well-formatted, concise, free of typos, containing the information they care about. Second, a quality LinkedIn. That includes a nice picture, a title line that makes sense, skills that make sense, certifications that make sense. Try to have more than 100 connections. Next, a quality portfolio is a huge benefit in the world of programming. Ideally, your projects are deployed, accessible as a user, enjoyable to use, visually appealing. Your written communication skill You should be direct messaging hiring managers. This is an excellent practice. If you're trying to land a programming role, here's a key tip. Use LinkedIn InMail. When you do this, there's certain etiquette to follow. I'll give you some tips on that shortly. Fifth, your interpersonal communication skill. Here I have in mind verbal and nonverbal. When you are able to book a Zoom call or speak with an employer, avoid filler words, ensure that your talking points are practiced, and smile. Take a look at the URL. This is the open source Latterly Slides repository. We are in the networking scripts file, and here we have some scripts for reaching out, direct messaging, and contacting a hiring manager. This document, reading the remainder, will educate you on that etiquette that I referred to. If you got value out of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for being here.